Hi Capricorn, welcome to your horoscope. Capricorn, in this video, we're going to cover the 3 retrogrades that are going to happen in the coming week. 3 planets are going retrograde in the coming week. First of all, Saturn, your ruler, is going retrograde in your house of finances. It is standing still over there right now. Saturn will go back to the degrees it has so far walked on since February, starting from 10th of May till 28th of September. So it will stay retrograde from 10th of May to 28th of September, restructuring your financial stability. And then we will have Venus, the planet of love and relationship and finances, going retrograde starting from 13th of May till 25th of June, where it will review the money and the relationships you have at work and with your body. Then we have Jupiter, the planet of expansion, in your sign, going retrograde from 14th of May till 12th of September. Retrogrades bring about a different perspective that we have not seen before. We'll go over that and we'll cover a preview of 2021 because this month is showing you a little bit of preview of what is about to come in 2021, because there's a key aspect that is happening in 2021, which is Saturn in your house of finances making an aspect to Uranus, the planet of sudden shifts and changes, sitting in your house of love, children, and all the things that you're passionate about. It is opening up an exciting part of your life, but at the same time, it is making a clash with the conservative side of your chart. So we'll look at what is about to come there. Let's start with the most positive thing that I see right now, and I think you might experience that between 15th to 17th of May this month itself. Jupiter this year, Capricorn, is in your sign. This happens once in 12 and a half years. So it's a very rare transit. Jupiter is a planet of expansion. Whenever it comes back in our zodiac, it expands the very frame from which we look at our life. And this is after intense amount of pressure that you as a sign have been through. And there are still residual things that you're going through at this time, because we had this Saturn Pluto conjunction in January, which set off this global event happen in your sign. So I'm sure at this point in time you're feeling the pressure, but Jupiter tries to make something good out of this pressure. It tries to create expansion out of a crisis. It tries to create strength within us. We will be seeking restructuring of our career, restructuring our external life for more power, for more autonomy. You'll be seeking more prosperity in your life. With Saturn Pluto conjunction, which happened in January, the very fabric of our existence has changed. But with Jupiter in your sign, you have a scope of expansion through any kind of crisis that we might be going through. We grow through transformation and crisis when we have a Jupiter and Pluto conjunction, which we have from now to all the way in November. From April to November, Jupiter is in close contact with the planet of transformation Pluto, and both of them are in your sign. And Jupiter right now is standing still, about to go retrograde in your sign. When this happens, we are given an opportunity of expansion. We are shown a way, and you might be in the process of getting that next week. There might be some communication, there might be some hints of a growth opportunity that you can achieve, and this could come through a easy discussion with a network partner. It could come through you reaching out to somebody. It could be through you taking a little bit of risk on yourself, because this season, Capricorn, for you is about taking a little bit of risk on yourself. This is the season when we follow our passions, when we follow our heart, when we go after the things that we want to really, really do. This is the heart chakra that is activated for you in the Taurus season. This is the time when we follow our heart. So things that we really love to do, we pursue them, whether they are creative in nature, whether they are love, whether it's a person that we love, or it is something that we really, really are passionate about and want to give birth to it. And through interaction with somebody, through networking with somebody, through connecting with somebody who is influential in your circle, or through putting yourself out there, putting yourself in the front. And next week, I would encourage you to do that, to put yourself out there, to go out and interact. Or even if you're not able to go out, through internet, especially through internet, interact with people, reach out to them boldly to ask what you truly need. In fact, this coming week is excellent for doing exactly that. Then on 15th of May, you have Sun meeting Pluto in a positive aspect. This is a very good aspect to convince somebody about your outlook. Even the coming days, 10th of May is excellent for doing that. There could be a conversation starting from 10th of May all the way till 17th of May that can really go in your favor. But Jupiter is going retrograde. When Jupiter, the planet of expansion, goes retrograde, an opportunity is given to us, but the full scope of that becomes visible after Jupiter goes direct in September. So from 14th of May to 12th of September, after some amount of initial success, you will be working on growing that opportunity by yourself. Jupiter is going retrograde at about 27 degree of Capricorn. That is a little bit of n degree of Capricorn, though all of you will feel that. But especially if you have planets around 27 degree of Capricorn, which is if you are a Capricorn sun, born around 18th of January, you'll feel that very, very strongly. Jupiter will go back from 27 degree of Capricorn to about 17 degree of Capricorn. So traveling from 14th of May till 12th of September, people who have planets between 17 degree to 27 degree of Capricorn, that is around 8th of January to 18th of January born if you're a Capricorn sun, they will definitely go through a period of extended growth by putting another layer of additional detail to what they have been working on. Jupiter in your sign is a very different Jupiter. Jupiter in your sign is essentially has the essence of your sign. And your sign is about work. Your sign is about dedication. Your sign is about getting it realistically well and then creating something for long run. So there might be certain details that need to be paid attention to. There might be certain things that need to be reviewed, for which Jupiter is going back, and Jupiter will add another layer of realistic growth to the opportunity that you are sort of seeing right now. You are going to see your life in a very different fashion. You will be claiming what's yours. This is very, very ambitious, especially because Jupiter is with Pluto right now. We restructure to reclaim our power. This is the time when you should sort of use this to focus this energy on a life change, a project of long-term status consequence to you. Change in structure of your body, of your knowledge, of your inner wiring, which is like completely once in a decade kind of a shift. The kind of positivity these two planets are ready to give you, and they come through crisis. Jupiter and Pluto always, because Pluto is crisis, there is growth and transformation in crisis. It shows a crisis and a growth opportunity together. There's a sense of expansion, but the sense of expansion is strongly attached to power. We would like to have more power over our own life. We would like more autonomy in our life. You'll be seeking prosperity, growth, and abundance, of course, but you would more importantly want to not let go this inner power that you have discovered now. So the kind of project, the kind of job, the kind of direction you want to direct this to, that has to give you the kind of autonomy that you're looking for. It has to you have to dream a little bit bigger here, because this is once in a decade aspect that is given to you. You're put in in a spot where The more you aim for, though you have to plan for it in your sign, you have to plan for it. It has to be a little bit realistic, but you have to aim for more than what you have ever aimed before. And in this time, if you will search, you will find growth opportunities even in crisis. But there will be old structure of your life that would have to be given up. The cost will be giving up the old way of being. And another cost will be expansion of your ability to take risk. Your risk appetite is increasing, Capricorn. And that brings me to the second key aspect, which is a preview of 2021, which I want to speak about. This is the season, Capricorn, when the part of your chart that gets highlighted has to deal with your self-expression, has to deal with the things that you're passionate about, the things that are labor of our love, our children, love affairs, things that we love to do, our hobbies, and businesses that are like children to us, creative passions that are close to our heart, things that we pour everything into. And this is also the house of our capacity to take risk on our passions. Since 2019, Uranus, the planet of freedom and change, is sitting in your house of self-expression, and it will stay there till 2026. It is expanding your ability to take risk on yourself. You might have experienced that already. You might have experienced this is in positive energy with you. This adds to you. This adds to your self-expression. This adds to your unconventional way of thinking. It gives you freedom to express yourself. It makes you take the risk that you have never taken before in your love life, in your self-expression, in your romance, with your children. You'll be more forward-looking, more open, more unconventional. You want to keep it fresh and inventive when it comes to love. This is your house of joy. And Uranus is zapping it with freedom. It wants you to experience excitement and fun. It wants to open up life's possibility for you by opening up a little bit of your risk appetite. And this is something that will slowly happen for you. This is additive to you. This is something which you do normally in a traditional fashion. Capricorn usually have a traditional way of loving. They have a traditional way of bringing up children. They are a little bit, if I may say, even sometimes conservative in love. They love to spoil to some extent with expensive things, their lovers, but they're very open in how, very giving when it comes to their love, but they are not flamboyant in love. Uranus over here shifts your self-expression. It opens up your self-expression. You become more free to express yourself in love. You become more free to express yourself externally to people. This adds a zing to you. This adds innovation, self-esteem, self-expression to you that you have never experienced before. And you might already be seeing that in how you interact with others. You might be taking more risk in your professional life and in your personal life. You might be looking at more innovative ways of bringing up your children. It lets your confidence and individuality shine. It lets your innovation through. It lets your joy through. It opens up the things that have been bottled inside you, which have been bubbling to go. You get the confidence to do those things. It creates radical amount of confidence in our own ability to do things. And this is a positive aspect, with Jupiter helping you see your life from a bigger frame. And this is irrespective of what's happening in the global event, because at your individual level, you feel more than ever ready to go. And both of these houses, this house of joy is making a positive aspect with Jupiter standing still in your sign, giving you something that you're passionate about between 15th to 17th of November, between 15th to 17th of May this month. Now, where is the square? Where is the hurdle? Where is the resistance? It's not really a resistance if you leverage it well. It can actually be a disciplining factor to your passions. Saturn, the planet of structure and discipline, which is your ruler, is going to make a hard aspect to this self-expression and this freedom, this need to set free from tradition that you're feeling inside. And that hard aspect will become exact next year on 14th of February 2021. It will sort of dominate the whole of 2021 because it will happen 3 times next year. As Saturn, your ruler, stands still right now, about to go retrograde on 11th, you will be seeing a preview of that. Saturn is the side of you which wants what is best for you because it wants to create something long term for you. It wants to give you the discipline to pursue something that is in line with your need to have something consistent coming your way when it comes to your financial abundance. Saturn is sitting in your house of financials and it will stay there for the next 2.5 years. Saturn is here to create the source of long-term financial abundance for you. We spoke about this in detail in the 2020 and beyond video as well. Because Saturn is going to meet Jupiter in December, it's going to open up a whole new way of making money. So when Saturn clashes with this wanting to take more risk, wanting to play the game of chance, you literally, Uranus in your 5th house is about taking a chance on yourself, taking a chance on life, taking some risk in life. Saturn says, hold on. Is it in line with what you're trying to create when it comes to your solid prosperity? Because Saturn has one aim. It wants to make sure that whatever you do, your financial security is maintained. Or you find something that is innovative, yes, that is giving you excitement, yes, but it has the requisite returns for the risk that you're taking. So Saturn will try to give a structure to your passion. Saturn will try to make sure that if there's a love affair or a romance or a risk that you're taking in life when it comes to somebody else, you're not losing on your financial security in the process of doing that. You're not losing your financial independence in the process of doing that. It will try to make sure that if you're spending, because when Uranus is in the house of heart, we want to spend on our loved ones. We want to spend on things that, they bring joy to us, which is excellent. It is opening up a side of you that you have not seen before. And Saturn says, hold on, is it something that you truly want to invest in? Especially if you're making a long investment, a huge investment. Is it truly worth it? Is always the question of Saturn. Saturn is trying to create the right boundaries. And when it goes retrograde from 11th of May till end of September, it will try to create the right boundaries and rules and regulations and structure that are required for you to produce a income or resources on a consistent basis. It wants to create a new source of income for you, a solid source of income for you. It wants you to become financially independent, not relying on others. It wants you to create something that brings joy and value to you, self-worth to you. True value of money and how to make it is made evident to us when Saturn is here. And Saturn is your ruler. It has been in your sign for the last 2.5 years, when it might have helped you create a solid identity, even though through pressure, through harsh methods, because Saturn is like a tough parent. It uses a stick more than carrot to some extent because it has discipline in mind, it has streamlining in mind, it has efficiency in mind. So through its own methods, Saturn might have created a new solid identity for you. You externally might look different. You would be different as a person. You are reborn when Saturn comes once in 29 years in your sign. And that was the rebirth for you over the course of last 2.5 years. From March, Saturn entered your house of finances. Now it wants you to use that strength that you have found within to create prosperity for yourself now. Saturn wants you to find new ways of independence arrival, the new ways of financial security. It will sort of give you the discipline to pursue certain methods or new skill sets that will generate more value for you going forward. It is laying down, building strong financial base, and that financial base is from both the sides of the P&L. It wants you to make sure that you're getting enough money, enough financial returns for your investment, getting enough returns of your talent, or your talents are skilled enough for you to earn more money. So it will sort of give you discipline to pursue the right skill sets as well, which yield revenue and financial abundance for you over long term. So you'll be upgrading your skill set. You'll be asking for the right kind of money you need. You'll be creating the right boundaries when it comes to your financial abundance, but also the cost factor will come into being, which means that do we have any wasteful expenditures? You'll be sort of creating budget. You'll be starting a financial portfolio possibly. You should start a financial portfolio during this time. This is the time to build a strong financial base. How do you save? How do you invest? And on a psychological basis, what do you base your self-worth on? Do you own your own self-worth, or is it dependent on another person? Is it dependent on the possessions even that you have? Saturn wants you to stand on both your feet, so you'll be able to sort of take the kind of excitement and the volatility that Uranus wants to create in your life. It wants to give you a solid ground to stand on. So these are two parts of you. One that wants to take a leap, wants to enjoy life, wants to have fun, wants to shift things up, shake things up when it comes to our love life, shake things up when it comes to the way we bring up our children, give bandwidth to our creativity. And the other side where we will be streamlining how we take care of our resources, our body, all our resources, the assets that you have, the money that you have, the body that you have, the food that you put in your body is a resource as well. You'll be reforming your diet as well, taking responsibility of all your assets, even your skill set. It gives you abundance. This aspect is known to give abundance because Saturn in Aquarius is gainful. So the next 2.5 year cycle is very gainful, can be very gainful for you if you address it in the right fashion, if you approach it in the right fashion. Saturn in Aquarius is about two things. One is, of course, the whole essence of Saturn, which is discipline and structure. And the other is innovation. Aquarius is forward looking. So Saturn in Aquarius gives us rewards if we look at the new way of making money. We have an eye on the new trends that are happening. I covered this in detail in 2020 and beyond video, which you should see. I'll put a link in the comments. It's the time to build for future by sort of taking care of your assets and talents, making your assets and talent work for you. One thing is common here. Uranus in your house of speculative trades will want you to take more risk when it comes to your investments. It is even that it will prompt you to invest in certain businesses and your passion projects. Saturn wants you to create consistent gains. There is an inherent conflict over there, right? But the two can work for each other. You can have your cake and eat it too, so as to speak, if you apply both of these energies in a logical, trying to give both sides of you a little bit of air. So let Saturn make sure that the returns from the investment you're going for, doing your work, doing your research, going deeper into it, figuring out from a conservative eye if you're going to get the return for what you're putting your money in, and not go impulsively into it, and going forward and investing into something that you're passionate about, opening up a little bit of your capacity to take risk when it comes to investments. Similarly, the reverse also holds true. For example, you want to do something creative, and that requires completely different skill sets. Saturn over here will give you capacity to hone the kind of skill set that you need to make money going forward, that will help you attain resources, that will help you attain self-confidence. Your personal values are going to be defined over here. You'll feel very rooted in yourself and having faith in your talents here. There's a discipline to create solid, not just financial security, but the rules and boundaries when it comes to your self respect. There's a financial independence as well as an independence from seeking confidence or assurances from external parties over here. So you'll develop a solid skill set here, which will serve you well in longer period of time. How best do you use your personal assets? Do we need to restructure some of it? Are your spending habits in line with where you want to go when it comes to your financial goals? The inventory of the assets do you have right now? Do you need to add to it? Do you need to repair a few? Do you need to learn a few things to add to your asset? Are there any financial skills you need to learn to grow your assets? Do you need to hire somebody to support you to take care of your assets? Because this is the Aquarius is a sign of leveraging people as well, bringing people together. So the way you earn money as a sign, the way that Capricorn can earn money in the most positive way is by bringing people together who have the right skill set. So maybe you need to get in a business advisor or find a network of people who helps you. Find an online advisor. Then similarly, the terms of engagement when it comes to your financials will also get defined. Are your contracts giving you enough returns? Do your contracts need to be restructured for that? You will question whether you're being paid your worth by other people or not. And this holds in your personal life as well. This is where you stand for yourself. But these are the most productive years. The next 2.5 years with Saturn over here, you'll be building efficiency in your spending in your life, in your diet even. And it can feel a little bit restrictive. That's where Uranus is helping. It's helping you open that up a little bit. Because Saturn over here alone can feel very restrictive. It is teaching you responsibility on money, but the excitement bit can get lost if that is alone over here. So I like the kind of square, the kind of hard aspect actually that Saturn and Uranus, because of the planets that they're making to each other, because they're going to help you get the best of both the worlds. But there's a conflict within you that you'll have to manage. This need for security, this need for regular income, it conflicts with trying to take a chance on your creativity, trying to take a chance on love, time spent with children, wanting to be with your children or have new children. Uranus in your house of children can bring certain sudden pregnancies as well. I'm just telling you how it is. Right now, Uranus is in the early degrees. So if you're in the first 10 degrees of Capricorn, that is definitely possible for you. We have Uranus right now at 6th degree, which is around 28th of December born. So if you want to get pregnant, this can be a very good aspect for you, especially using IVF or other means. You can really time the pregnancy very well with it. But as a lot is dependent on other things, but this aspect does support that, is what I'm saying. So there can be a conflict between wanting to focus on your financial wealth and at the same time a sudden shift which requires you to sort of spend time on your creativity, on love, on children, on recreational activity, wanting to set free a little bit, wanting to have a little bit of fun. And the other way, it can be that a lack of stable income does not allow you to do that. So there can be a struggle between the two. A person who's purely following their passion but not earning enough money for it can feel the reverse of it. And then a person who's purely pursuing the money and not following the passion can feel the issue on the other side. This is the inherent conflict between these two. But with this conflict comes the drive to find the right path which has both of them, where you sort of are able to derive your sense of worth or confidence from the work you do by following your passions. The place where you sort of are able to have fun as well as earn money from doing what you truly love. It will just require you to upgrade your talents for sure. It will definitely require you to find ways to create value from your talents. It is another question that this square always asks is, does the risk you want to take, is it worth the financial return or not? Everything comes at a price. So you have to evaluate whether it is material abundance, whether it is your sense of worth, whatever you're getting out of what you're spending on, is it worth it or not? You will not have an issue in staying conservative, in my view. The issue that you will have is trying to set yourself free, because Saturn has worked very hard on you over the course of last 2.5 years, and Saturn is the dominant factor here. So I would take this aspect where you are working on your finances, but Uranus adds a little bit of excitement to what you do in terms of how you earn money. So have a disciplined practice when it comes to your financials, especially when it is retrograde from 11th of May till September. It's the excellent time to create the right structure and boundaries, internal structure and boundaries. Where do you say yes, where you should have said no? When it comes to investments, when it comes to financial, when it comes to things where you're compromising your ego, those questions will come up. And then let Uranus bring in interesting prospects to you. Uranus over here brings exciting, to some extent unpredictable twists of fate when it's your love life. As I said, similarly for children. Self-expression is set free, and in some ways that freedom of being able to say what you truly want to say, being more free in your speech, that can help you in your financial stability as well. So you can make the best of the two worlds as well. The square is an internal conflict. These are two parts of us that we're trying to merge, but there's an internal issue because of which we are not able to merge these two. And that is what we learn in 2021, and you might be seeing a preview of that. The last thing that I wanted to talk to you about is Venus retrograde. Venus is going retrograde in your house of work and daily routines and health practices. So the question that Venus retrograde always asks is, do I love it? So from 13th of May till 25th of June, when Venus is retrograde in your house of health and work routines, you would be asking yourself whether the work or the project that you're doing, do you really love it? Or it might be that the work you have already done or the project that you have done, especially if it is of creative nature, you might need to replenish it, review it, redo it to some extent from a creative standpoint. This is also where you sort of will consider whether the money that you're getting paid from the work that you do, the projects that you do, is it really worth it, or do you need to go back and ask for more? Because Venus is in Gemini, the sign of communication. So the business communication, if it has not been fair to you, you will raise that. So the money paid for your work that you have done in the past, maybe something was owed to you and that needs to be returned to you. Some of that could come up, something old related to money when it comes to your work that you have done could come up. The business communication will come into focus. It's not a very good time during Venus retrograde to start something extensively new. So from 13th of May to 25th of June, it's a good time to review what you have started, to go back and review the rates of the work. If you provide some sort of services, reviewing the prices for that, reviewing the bonus and the salary structure that you have. Having that kind of conversation could be very, very positive for you. Similarly, this is your house of health as well. This is the time when some nagging health issue, you might review how to take care of that. There could be a personal habit that needs to be taken care of. This is about self-love. This is about taking better care of yourself. There could be something that is not agreeing with you on a daily basis, some sort of health habit, some sort of prioritization where you sort of are not being prioritizing yourself maybe when it comes to your relationships, when it comes to your personal life. Maybe you have too much responsibilities. Maybe you've been spending way too much time on your duties towards others. And that's where some amount of filtering is required, and the driver is to choose what you truly love to do. What are the things that you truly love to do? Which are the projects? Choose those projects that are closer to you, that will give you value, that will elevate you to the next level. Similarly, when it comes to your relationships, maybe you're not speaking up, asking for support. Venus over here teaches us to speak up when it comes to our business and personal relationships. And that could come through a little bit of conflict. It could come up in the early first week of June through a little bit of conflict. There could be a verbal conflict that can happen because Mars will be in your house of communication. You'll be ready to talk, and it could come through a little bit of friction on 2nd or 3rd of June. So just something to look out for that might happen. And you could feel that in the month of May itself, around 20th of May, you might feel maybe I'm being taken for a little bit of ride, especially at work. You might feel that. So be on lookout for on 20th of May if something is giving you a hint that you're not being given the right kind of returns for your work around that time. There could be a confusing messaging. You might feel that I'm being lied to by somebody at work, and it can happen especially if your planets around 20 to 21 degree on 20th of May. It's a very good day for creativity, to create something totally out of the world. This is a good imagination day, 20th of May, even a few days before. It's actually very close. Venus and Neptune are close to each other throughout this month, but 20th of May is when it peaks. So be a little bit careful when it comes to financial matters. It's very good for creativity, but there's a thin line between creativity and lying. So somebody else might be, especially in a contract, in a commercial contract, might not be telling you the full picture. And on 20th of May, that can feel pretty evident to you. So once that is shown to you, some amount of conflict can come to picture towards end of May or early June, especially around 2nd or 3rd of June, which will prompt you to see that maybe the contract or what you're creating is not what you truly love. There's something that is not in line with what you love and what you deserve. And that can become a source of enhancement in terms of the return for your service, a return for what you do in terms of work. So that's what I have for you, Capricorn. I hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next video now. Thank you.